Hola muchachos, hello guys. Buenos días, buenas tardes, or buenas noches. Our topic for this video is quite important. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? What that means is basically, what time is it? We're going to learn how to tell time in Spanish. It's quite simple. As we move through this video, please remember what we already learned when we studied how to say hello and goodbye. Remember that mañana means morning, tarde means afternoon, and noche means night, right? Mañana means morning. Tarde is afternoon, noche is night. So, ¿qué hora es? Let's say we're going to start on your left and move from top to bottom. Let's say it's 8 a.m. Well, in Spanish you would say son las 8 de la mañana. Son las 8 de la mañana. What that means is it's 8 in the morning, right? What about 8:10? Well, we say son las 8:10 de la mañana. Okay. What about 10:15? Still a.m. We say son las 10:15 de la mañana. Son las 10:15 de la mañana. Or you can also say son las 10:15. Are you getting the hang of this, right? Of course I'm using the numbers, so for this you need to remember the numbers from 1 to 60, and that's why in the previous video that we studied the numbers, that's what we covered, the numbers from 1 to 60, because hours have 60 minutes. So if you're having trouble remember these, please go back to that video and review it before moving on. Okay? So 10:15 we say, 10:15 a.m. of course, we say son las 10:15 de la mañana. Right? Basically, I'm starting always with son, which means they are, right? Las, which means the. Then I say the first number. Just like in English, you say 10:15, so you say the first number first. 10 is 10. Then I say y, which we already know, means and then I say the second number, 15. And I say de la, which means of the, right? And then mañana, tarde o noche, morning, afternoon, or night, right? So I am always following the same structure. Don't worry. In a slide after this one, we will see that structure more clearly, right? We're just getting used to it slowly. How about 11:30 a.m.? So we use exactly the same model, right? But we just change the numbers. Instead of 10 for 10, we say 11 for 11. Instead of 15 for 15, we say 30 for 30. And it's still a.m., so it's still de la mañana, right? Son las 11:30 de la mañana. That means it's 11:30 in the morning. Okay? Just like in English, there's an alternative way to say this. When it's right in the middle, right, you can say 11:30 or 11 and a half. You can say 11:30 or 11:30, which means exactly that, 11 and a half. Now let's move on to the next column. This one is slightly different, isn't it? 1 p.m. So it's afternoon, right? It's no longer morning, so we need to change mañana for tarde. But I don't say son las uno. What I say is es la una de la tarde. Later in the semester, we will learn actually why this is so. For now, just remember that when it's 1, And not just 1 o'clock, but 1 and anything. 1:05, 1:07, 1:15, 1:45, 1:47, whatever, right? But when it starts with 1, when the time starts with 1, you don't say son las, you say es la una. Okay? 1 p.m. es la una de la tarde. And when it turns to 2, we go back to the same old model. Son las dos. In this case, de la tarde because it's p.m. How about 5:45 p.m.? Son las, right? This is not 1, so I'm going to say son. Son las 5:45 de la tarde. I know that is quite a mouthful, but if you analyze it, we're just following the pattern, right? Saying son las, then saying the first number, then y, then the second number. And if we want to specify exactly what section of the day it is, well, this is afternoon, so we say de la tarde. Son las 5:45 de la tarde. And how about 8:45 p.m.? This is no longer tarde, right? It's night. Sundown is way past. So 8:45, son las 8 de la noche. Oh, son las 8:45. Sorry, there's a mistake there, right? This is not 8 o'clock, this is 8:45. 8:45, right? But for 8 o'clock, you would say las 8 de la noche. So what is the rule here? Las reglas, the rules. This is the structure from top to bottom, right? We start, the stuff that I say is the stuff that I marked in red, and then the rest is the situation in which I use it. So I start with son, right? I always start with son, but only for any time other than 1. And its variance. Its variance means 1:05, 1:07, right? Whatever starts with 1. Right? What do I do in that case? I don't use son, I use es. So that's the first word, either son or es. Es for 1, son for all the others. That first word plus either la for 1 or las for anything other than 1. Okay? So we start with son las or es la. Es la when it's 1 or its variance. Son las when it's anything else. Right? Then we add the first number, in Spanish of course. Then we add y, which means and. Then we add the second number. Okay? And we're done. And the stuff you have in the little green green rectangle is optional, right? Just like in English. In English, you don't need to say, oh, it's 11:30 in the morning, right? The in the morning is optional because it's kind of obvious. But if you want to specify, right? I don't know if you're talking to someone who's in a different time zone and you want to remind them it's still morning here or whatever, right? You can say that. Or if you just like being specific, right? So, de la mañana means in the morning. De la tarde means in the afternoon. De la noche means at night. Okay, that is the rule. Let's put it to use. Let's say, for example, that it's 1:30 p.m. So it's 1:30. Let's follow the rule. It's 1. Do I say son or es? I say es, right? Because it's 1. So I start with es. Move on to the next step. It's either las or la. Which one do I choose? I choose la because it's 1. So es la. Then I say the first number, una. Then I say y. Then I say the second number, 30. Es la 1:30. And I said p.m. If I want to be specific, then I say de la tarde. Es la 1:30 de la tarde. Notice that, and this only happens with time, I don't say es la 1, I say es la una. Again, later, quite soon, we will learn why this is so. Right? For now, we're just following the basic rules. So, es la 1:30 de la tarde. Let's change it a little. Still 1, but not 1:30 p.m. Now it's 1:22 a.m. We should already know how to begin this, right? We say es la because it's one. Es la una. Es la una y what? How do you say 22? 22, right? 20 is 20, dos is 2. You put them together, es la una y 22, and then AM es la una y 22 de la mañana. It's quite late, you should go to bed, right? Next one, 11:45 p.m. So the beginning changes, right? Because it's no longer 1. When it's not 1, what do I say? I don't say es la, I say son las, right? So son las. Then the first number, 11 for 11. Then y. Then the second number, 45 for 45. And since it's PM, I say de la noche. Son las 11:45 de la noche. Okay? So that set of rules that you have on your left in this slide is actually quite useful, right? Try to learn it. Another exercise, it's 9 a.m. now. 9 in the morning. How do I say this? It's son las, because it's not 1. Then I say 9, and I don't have any other numbers, so I don't need any other numbers. Son las 9 de la mañana, right? If you want to be really specific, you want to say 9 o'clock, you can say son las 9 en punto. En punto means o'clock, but this is not necessary, right? Son las 9 de la mañana. It's 9 in the morning. One last example, going back to 1 just because I want to hammer this into your brain that when it's 1, you don't say son las, you say es la. But it's 1 p.m. How do you say this? Es la una de la tarde. Right? Es la una de la tarde. Because it's 1 in the afternoon. Okay? Again, the rules are either begin with son las when it's anything other than 1, or with es la if it's 1. Then add the first number. Then add y. Then add the second number. And if you want to be specific about the section of the day, you have to remember that de la mañana means in the morning, de la tarde means in the afternoon, de la noche means at night. Okay? Y eso es todo. Gracias, muchachos. Estudien. Hasta luego.